Hello, friends. Hope everyone is having a happy Friday. I don't know what happened to my avatar. Well, actually, I know what happened to my avatar. Somehow, I got logged out of my old StreamYard account, and none of the passwords that I thought they were worked. So I had to start a new one. So I'll get that fixed up, and you won't have to look at that ugly white circle. Let me say hello to everyone. Kazi, Princess Mariposa, copy that ghostwriter. Crimes have consequences. Hello, Petey. Amy is here. Got some new mods. Out with the old, in with the new. My rules are simple. Just don't let people be total asshats. You can time them out if it's not too bad. If it's too awful, just give them a warning and then get them out. We're going to talk about all the goods today. Hello, Lil G, Jenny, Tragic Mouse, Hurricane Camille. I'm so glad you guys are here. It's been a while since I've done this, so I'm a little rusty. So, there's been a lot of stuff going on, but before we get into all that good stuff, just so nobody starts whining about Cash Apps, I am a monetized channel, but my monetization has been paused for months because of that whole verify this and verify that. I guess the picture I sent them of my ID wasn't clear enough, so I'm going to work on getting that fixed. But for today, if anyone wants to send any money, it's $chasing justice. All of that money today will be sent directly to Ocean Lover to help with her expenses. And I will, of course, post everything everybody needs to see so that there's no funny business going on. Speaking of funny business, I was listening to another creator this morning because crimes have consequences, brought it to my attention, and I was like, holy hell, let me go check this out. So I tortured myself and got about 30 minutes into it and got what I needed. So I'm going to play that clip for you guys because it blew my mind. It was something I had never heard before. Play that clip for you. Whoop. So I was a little shocked. Hang on, let me get to it. Okay. So here we go. And you guys let me know if you can hear it. You could put a middle finger in the chat, a one in the chat, whatever floats your boat.
Ernie was one of those. The reason I say that, and then after I look at Ernie myself and all the links and clips that want to feed you, but I start digging
Hold
myself.
on.
What I find is that Ernie had turned in paperwork on this fucking fundraiser.
Hold on.
And then in the middle of
that was the sped up version. Let me get to the the slow-mo. Okay.
But then during that duration, they were also trying to.
Yeah, technical difficulties. Go away, child. Come here. Go watch TV in my room, okay?
Can I say something?
You can say hi real quick.
Hi, material girls.
Okay, we had a visitor. Hey, Crafting. I'm trying to get this clip for you guys. Hang on.
Become fully transparent. But then during that duration, they were also trying to offer out all these suspects that took summer. Like, and I know that, like, it's like, what the fuck? Ernie was one of those. The reason I see that, and then after I look into Ernie myself and not the links and clips they want to feed you, but I start digging myself, what I find is that Ernie had turned in paperwork on this fucking fundraiser. And then in the middle of this, I find that out about Ernie, I find out about Carl. I start looking at it and finding the laws and what's going on and all this other stuff. And shit goes sideways. But yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. Ernie filed paperwork for the fundraiser. And to be quite honest, you guys, I don't I have watched her before. I don't get in the middle of all that stuff though, involving her and, all the drama that's going on, because I've never covered Summer. I've given my opinions here and there about it and things like that, but I've never been one that covers Summer. So it's kind of like not my business. That's the way I see it. Um, I just, it's just not my thing. So, but I thought it was very interesting because, one, remember, Ernie said he's never done any research on Summer's case. He's never gotten involved or anything like that, that he just kind of, well, there's two versions of events. His die-hard fans will tell you that Benny brought him into Summer's case, but that's simply not true. Ernie kind of brought himself into the case way back before he came to YouTube. He was on Facebook. He was with Tina and the gang and Dusty Albritton. And there was that whole Speedway fiasco where he's walking around picking up evidence with no gloves, no proper protocol or procedures, and he's putting it in Ziploc bags. Like, we all remember that, right? The toys and just all the chaos that went with that. So now, come to find out, word on the street is he filed some paperwork over something to do with the fundraiser. So why get involved with the fundraiser if you're not even involved in the case to begin with? So I'm going to keep digging around and looking into that and talking to a few people. Hopefully I'll be able to bring you an update as to what all that is about. The people that I can confirm that with, something tells me that they're not going to be willing to talk to me about it. Because in their books, I'm just a big old bully. And that's fine. You can call me a bully. But when I see things that just don't add up or aren't quite right, I'm going to have something to say about it. I'm going to clip the crap out of their little uploads and live streams. But I'm not terribly disrespectful about it. I just bring it to the forefront, things that make me go, and people need to pay attention to. So stay tuned for more information about that whole thing. One, I want to know what papers he filed for the fundraiser and why he did it. These are things that we deserve answers to. And that's the deal with these people, is they think that we don't have a right to question anything. It's none of our business, or we're just doing it to be hateful. Well, the minute you bring it to a live stream or to a video and you put it up for countless people to see, it becomes our business. And anyone in their right mind would want to follow along and connect the dots. I'm that way. I was always the why kid and the how come kid. I always want to know everything from beginning, middle to end. I have to know how things work. I have to, like, it's probably pretty annoying to the people that are in my real life, but I can't help it. I can't help myself. I'm nosy. So that's one of the little things. Now, other breaking news. P Pants' channel is gone. It's gone. And I was so excited when Dank uploaded that video this morning, because I was literally watching her this morning and clipping the crap out of her. I can't help it. There's lots of stuff there, lots of humorous things, and I don't necessarily clip her to be mean. It's just funny. It's funny when they were dancing the other night. And let me set the record straight. You guys did not raise money for Ocean Lover. Hey, Sunshine. Hey, Kara. And everyone else who came in. If I missed you, Rap, I see you're here. I unblocked you, Rap. I still had you blocked from months and months ago. But you're unblocked on the Rap channel now. They did not raise that money for Ocean Lover. I don't care how they want to spend it. What raised that money was the commentary, the laughs, the jokes, the good times. So just like they were over there living their life and having a grand old time, we were on another channel living our life and having a grand old time. So, you know, we raised all that money. The people that donated, that's the reason that money is there. And I'm hoping that we get some donations today because I would love to be able to help with this cause. I'm all for everyone doing good things for people as long as they're honest and upfront and transparent about it. Will I ever do a big, huge fundraiser? No, I never would because I was all up in the middle of that fiasco before and I don't want any part of that. But if someone wants to send money to Ocean Lover through me, that's fine. She needs all the help she can get. I don't know if you've ever had anyone that has ever had to have an organ transplant. The whole process can be very traumatic and draining. And so, if we can alleviate some of that stress for her, then I think we have a pretty good little community here that is more than willing to bend over backwards to help each other. And I'm proud of that. A lot of people don't like us. That's okay. You don't have to like me. You don't have to listen to my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I am perfectly fine coexisting peacefully. I like a good debate and a good challenge. I don't want everyone to agree with me. So now we've got Weddy Betty, who no longer has a channel. So I bet if we took bets on whose panel she's going to hop on to rage, I am going to almost bet you that she's going to be on Lisa's. And I think if we put a betting pool together, we could even donate that money to Ocean Lover. I'm trying to get a link to Sayla real quick. Hang on. I don't know if it's going to let me do it. Sayla, if you're listening, I'm going to drop it in the chat. Actually, let me put my new email address in the chat. Thank you, Crimes Have Consequences, but I'm not really using that one anymore. Let's see. So she's going to rage about not having a channel, and she is going to blame everyone. She's probably going to blame Benny too, and that's going to be funny because as far as I know, they really don't have anything to do with each other. He's never bothered her, right? So, she's going to have to rage. She's going to have to blame someone because one thing we've learned with this group is it's never their fault. Nothing is ever their fault. It's always our fault. We made fun of them. We hurt their feelings. We stepped on their big toe. They would probably blame the weather on us. I'm sure that they try. What probably got her channel taken away is a lot of false strikes, her music that she plays all the time. I know that she had a stream the other day that was taken down because she was playing some other, I don't know, I guess it was like some sermon videos or something, but I think she got hit for that. I don't know if that's true. I saw it in a chat. I'm sure that a few of them are here listening. They won't ever say anything in the chat, but they're here listening. So everyone say hello to the lurkers. You guys are more than welcome to comment too. We'll be nice to you here as long as you're respectful. What I noticed in Betty towards the last few days that Ern was still on, she's very much a one-upper. It always has to be about her. And nobody can ever have a bad day without her day being worse. If you have a sinus infection, she's going to have emphysema. We've heard that she came back from brain death. She fell off a roof. She had cancer. I mean, anything and everything that could happen to this woman, according to her, has happened. I don't, I, I have a hard time dealing with one uppers. It blows my mind. It really does. It's like, can't you just let someone have their moment? Can't it just be about someone else for just a second? Ernie, her good friend, who she says she's been working undercover with him for months, right? It was all a sham. The whole fight with Lisa, the whole fight with Betty, the whole fight between the three of them, it was all a sham. They were undercover together the entire time. If you listen to Betty tell it, I'm sure Lisa would have a different version of events. So that brings us to the undercover part. Undercover for what? What exactly are you being undercover for? You're not law enforcement. You're not a federal agent. You are not Homeland Security. You're not even an employee of the postmaster. So, what are you undercover for? What are you trying to catch everyone up in? Because the only thing that I have ever heard come out of any of their mouths has just been so like out there. Because according to them, we're all involved in some deep crime ring. Okay. And for months, Ernie has been telling people this. But we're not supposed to get mad about that, right? We're not supposed to take those accusations to heart. We're not supposed to think of how that stuff could affect our real lives, our employment, our children's lives, everything. All of us as creators, we have a whole slew of people that are involved in our real lives. Not everyone's employer is going to be understanding if they start getting phone calls saying that someone's involved in a trafficking ring or that they're involved in um like doing all this shady stuff in the background. Like, not everyone's going to be understanding. So what makes them think that they can just make all these wild accusations and we're just supposed to smile and nod and blow it off? Sayla, I put the link in the chat for you. It wouldn't let, my messenger is all screwed up on my laptop, so it's in there if you want to hop on. And then they get upset with us because we accuse them of things. We accuse someone of being on drugs or, look, I have my opinions about that too. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand mental illness. I understand, you know, that there are some deep rooted issues that this man needs to work on. I sympathize with that. My heart goes out. However, I have also had a situation in my real life, someone in my family who was involved in drug use, and that led to, hey, Sheila,
Crap, I can't hear
that
anything. Hold on.
led to drug induced psychosis. It was a rough ride, a very rough ride. We lived in an area where that drug was rampant. One out of every two people used, and most were addicted. So I see a lot of those behaviors. Just like we have all seen it kind of comes in phases, right? We can see when he starts getting very confident, almost like he can take on the world. Then comes the sarcasm, he tells us flat out, I haven't gotten any sleep. And I know that there's things like PTSD and all of that can affect your sleep cycle. I get it. But I
Absolutely.
think that there is more going on there. And I think that for his sake, that the people who he's surrounding himself with, his subs, his followers, if you guys care about him, you need to start holding his feet to the fire. Stop making excuses for him.
Stop
Stop
enabling him.
saying everything is just mental illness, or he's just been through this. There's no doubt in my mind that he's been through a lot in his life. There is no doubt in my mind. And I feel bad. I know that there are fears involving his brother, and that's understandable. He has a brother in prison for murder
Well, it's not
who will be
actually
getting
murder.
out. I mean, I don't think it was a life sentence. I never really got into that whole trial thing,
It wasn't
just because
really
it was a
murder.
lot. It was a lot to take in. And, with my own cases I have going on, that was just more like I wanted to observe from a distance. Um,
Can you hear me?
and Jimbo and Tina went on another panel the other day, and I uploaded the clip, and the title of it was "Put a 1 in the comments if you understood what just happened." Well, what just happened is Jimbo basically said the common denominator when it comes to the lies is Ernie. Tina
It
has
is.
said the common denominator when it comes to lies is Ernie.
It is.
So, oh, I hear you now. How are you?
I was just trying to figure out my mic situation.
Oh,
Um, Shelby's actually in prison, complicit to murder. He's in prison for other crimes. The jury was hung.
oh. So it was
Yeah,
like 20 years, wasn't it?
it was very weird. It was a hung jury. So he's in prison for complicit. I think that's the word. Complicit to murder. I had a substance yesterday. Um, and what happens is he's only serving like 20 years. So
So there's a lot that I would imagine there's a lot of anxiety with things that need to be resolved before he gets out. You guys who are enabling him, and I don't care. I've had so many people yell at me in the comments because
well,
I
I was
tell them,
saying that when you couldn't hear me. I was saying
yeah,
that
like
people need to stop enabling.
yes, stop. If it's almost like they don't want to disappoint him, but I'm telling you, people, the best thing we could have ever done for the person in our family who went through that, because that drug induced psychosis that my family member was diagnosed with, that eventually became a schizophrenia diagnosis. Now, I see a lot of people in his comments saying, oh, he's schizophrenic. He needs a medical ID bracelet. That's all fine and good. Yes. Let's figure out what the issue is and slap a bracelet on that man, and don't let him take off anywhere in a rental car
By
or a
himself.
van by himself. That's just absurd. When you see the pattern and it's happened so often in such a short amount of time, the
Well, from
best.
my personal experience, because I have severe PTSD as well as complex PTSD, because there's two different types. PTSD is
Mhm.
something that you, you've experienced a traumatic event just like one time. It's like as you're an adult. But complex PTSD is something that you had from, I believe it's childhood. I could have it mixed up, but there's two different types. I have severe PTSD and complex PTSD.
Mhm.
Um, and I have severe insomnia, so I understand not sleeping. And by day 3 of not sleeping, I scare myself,
Right.
because I'll see like shadows, and it's actually myself in the mirror or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my kid, she's 14, almost 14, and she thinks it's hilarious. I'll come out of the bathroom and she'll be right there, and I don't find it funny because it's it's a trigger, but what can I do? The kid finds it funny. So I try and take naps during the day. All my traumas happen at night, so I have more of I can't sleep at night, and
Right.
I have people in my home that are like, you've got like 20 dogs. Nobody's going to come into the house and like hurt me.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not 100% certain. I mean, last week I lost a dog that was deaf that I bred. I mean, she was a
Oh.
champion. She was awesome. I mean, just last September she got bit by a timber rattlesnake, a baby one, and
Oh
we
yeah.
thought she
Those
was,
are vicious.
yeah, oh my gosh, her she got bit on her underneath her chin, and it was just like these two little puncture holes, and I mean, the it was oozing and clotting, and the vets, I mean, I was a vet tech assistant. I was working towards my vet school, and being the fact that I can't hold my composure when it comes to um, other people hurting, and then coming home and seeing my own, get old, and I can't deal with that. So I quit. After 4 years, I was like, I can't do this. It's hard enough, dealing with my own, and to be there for somebody else. It's too hard. And I understand completely why the the unaliving of of vets and vet techs, that is an extremely hard job because it's emotional, because we're more attached to animals, or most people are that are in vet work, more attached to animals than they are people. So it's like one of the highest unalivings, and with my mental state, there's no way I could continue doing it because it's too hard. Um, yeah, I thought I was ready, and then I went to go let Pink out, and um, she was deaf. She was sleep. I thought she was sleeping at the bottom of the stairs, and I went to go wake her up to let her out, and she was gone. So I kind of
Oh.
had a yeah.
It's like losing
It's
a child. It really is. Like,
well, and then I lost two to heat stroke because our AC went out, and that's just been in the last 2 weeks. So it's been really rough. I mean, I got one to the vet just in time, and she's just a puppy, so you know she's
yeah.
fine. But I lost you know two others that I thought were fine until they weren't, and trying to get them to hydrate. I mean, I have fluids here. I know how to do IVs and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like I don't know what I'm doing. I
Right.
mean, even my vets are like, well, do you have this? Because I'm 45 minutes from just my vet clinic, and then I'm 2 hours away from an emergency vet clinic. So it's not like I'm close to anywhere.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at. If something happened to one of my animals, I don't know what I would do. But I mean, and it's just even something like I know if his people are here listening, they're like, oh my gosh, that's just an animal. How does that compare to what he's going through? Look, I'm an understanding person. I try to consider like all the facets of a situation before, I snap
the
to judgment. But we
the
all have our
last the last psychotic break that he
traumas
had,
that we go through, and we all
and
handle things in
yeah,
different ways.
oh, absolutely. But with his last psychosis, in Louisville, it was really interesting because I mean, I was like, no, this cannot. I
Yeah.
was like, this can't be drugs. This has got to be some sort of psychosis or something. Now, when Jimbo, now he signed himself out that night. He did not stay in the hospital. Um, he signed an AMA just like he did
Right.
the first night. And
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
and that's what's unfortunate, because he is an adult. I think we might have a lag, so if I cut you
We
off,
do.
just tell me to shut up.
No, it's
Um,
okay. I literally have a
it's
little
unfortunate.
dog in my lap because I'm having an anxiety attack. And she's like, it's okay, mom, it's okay.
Aw. But he is an adult and he can sign himself out. That's why he needs a solid core group of people. And I'm not gonna hide it. I sent a message to Jimbo through a third person because I don't have contact with him. I'm really pissed about that comment he made in Ernie's chat one day about saying he has all this information about me and he would, whatever. Do it, Jimbo. I dare you. That's
Yeah.
not a threat. I don't have, me and Jimbo have never had any really, we've never really had a conversation. He's not someone I talk to behind the scenes. I don't really have an issue with him personally. I don't like some things he does, but that's neither here nor there. Um, but I did let him know, look,
He
I've
does
been
he
through this
does fall
before,
strike
and
channels.
yeah. Um, what I see in Ernie is a lot like what I experienced with our family member. And
Okay.
I told him I'll be happy to share the resources that we used, what we ended up having to do. If you're really his friend and you really care about him, certain things need to be done. He needs a guardian. He needs to give someone
He
power
does.
of attorney. From
Right.
what
Exactly.
I see, I don't see anyone who is qualified to take on that role. It's almost like everybody's fighting over him. And
Yeah.
inside all this ball of craziness and this paranoia and all of that, there's a human being in there. I've never once wavered from that. I think he's a shady human being. I
Oh,
think he's
absolutely.
scammy as all get out, but he still
Oh,
is a
there's
person. And if there is
there's
any hope
yeah.
whatsoever of bringing that person back to the forefront, he needs someone in his life who is going to make the best decisions for him and not fight over him like he's a show pony. And that's what I see.
Right.
Tina all but admitted that all these I mean, everyone can relax because there's no sting operations. There's no
Right.
law. I mean, I don't know. They might think they have some lawsuits. I don't really see
They don't.
those going anywhere because,
They
like
don't.
Tina also said, the courts would laugh him out. You can't go after someone for bullying and harassment. And then, that's why I never joined his panel. All those people out there calling me a coward because I would never grab that link, there's a reason for that. And that reason is if I go on
He
his
always
panel,
twists it.
yeah. And if I go on his panel and give him a piece of my mind, or I tell him off and I keep going on his panel to do that, then he can say it wouldn't stick, but he could say, look, this person's always coming to me to say mean things. It's just better to stay on neutral territory. I don't need to
Right.
go on his panel to voice my opinion. All that is a dog and pony show to cause conflict. It brings the views.
The last time I spoke to him
I fight with all
on
his people in the comment section. I don't need to go on his panel.
they time me out or they hide me. So it's like, what's the point? As soon as he drops a link, I jump up there and be like, look, you got rogue mods. I mean, just
Right.
because you ask a question, you get timed out or you get hidden. That's cool. Um, but the last time I talked to him, I told him, I said, because he has all these books about manipulation and how to disappear book, and he's got another one, something about uh, basically master manipulation, how to try and trick somebody into saying something that they actually didn't say, to make that person look bad. I mean, he does read books. It's not like he's not ignorant to it. He knows what he's doing
Right. Oh,
when
I
he's
think that
talking to
he's
you.
very intelligent.
But I told him, I said,
I
look, if you stop with the mind fucking, and that's where he started laughing, and I go, no, seriously, when you're a real person, you can be like likable. We can actually understand you. But when you start acting stupid and acting like you're some freaking show pony, actor, that you're famous and you're Mr. Hollywood, you're a nobody. I don't care if you have 8,000 subs on one channel because you bought half of them. I don't care
right.
about your other channel. YouTube has told me personally when I contacted him, he cannot be monetized. He can't. It's impossible. His content is just not there. When it comes to the doxing, and when it comes
There,
to, he's
and that,
actually bullying
that's
and
one of the
harassing
things.
other people.
Right. But his people don't see it that way. It's always, oh well, he has a right to defend himself. If he wasn't doing all the shady things he's been doing, we wouldn't be talking about him. But I'm
That's what I
sorry,
told him to. Yep.
if you have more than one person saying, hey, something doesn't look right about this, then chances are something's not right about it. I
Right.
mean, I stay pretty quiet about stuff, I don't really. And that's because I'm observing. I want to take it all in. And I'm
Right.
telling all of everybody in here knows something's not right. And I think Tina hit the nail on the head the other day when she said he backs himself into corners because he builds himself up to be
Mm-hmm.
this thing he's not. And then when he can't follow through with a lot of stuff, he freaks out. I too, he's taken thousands of dollars from
Oh
people.
yeah. Oh,
That's not
he's
cool.
made
And
he's made a lot of money off of people,
right. And because of that fundraiser
which
that
was
put the
illegal.
whole community through hell, and
It
it's
was
still being
illegal.
talked about.
Right.
When it comes to, I love my subs, I love the viewers, I love the community, I love being in the chats and talking to people. I just love it. I don't like
Me
seeing
too.
people taken advantage of, and people have been taken advantage of enough. And
And
to
that's what
just
I
barrel
right.
into a community out of nowhere, you know, and just kind of when has he ever followed through with anything he said he was going to do?
Zero.
And he keeps saying, well, I
For
did
two.
have this license, I did have this certification.
Right.
I don't care about what you did have. I care about what you have right now and what makes you qualified to teach these classes, because that's fine. You have the experience or whatever, whatever he's done. Um, which, come to find out, it really isn't a whole lot. You can have all the paper certifications and licenses you want,
It's
but
a
if you're not
3 hour
out there,
course. It's a
right, if you're
three
not
hour course.
actively out there doing something with it, it means nothing to me. It's a piece of paper.
Right.
And there's no doubt in my mind that a lot of these documents and things he's shown are fake. They're
They are.
fake. Yes, he did hold a license at one time,
Yes.
but you can't live off that expired license forever.
No, you
At some
can't.
point, you have to decide which direction you're going in. His whole life in general, like what we see of him on YouTube, scatterbrained, going in 100 different directions, no follow through on any one thing, that is very indicative of mental illness. So there's no doubt in my mind that he's suffering. I think a lot of his suffering he's bringing on himself. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I said, he needs a he needs to give someone power of attorney who is not going to allow him to be checked out of the hospital against medical advice. He needs someone who is going to say, look, if there, no one's going to fault him if he were to come out and say, yes, I have a drug
Well, see, here's the
problem.
thing.
I would
He
praise
was
him. I would give him a high five and say, thank you.
he was on Daisy's chat, or Jimbo was on Daisy's chat. The day that it happened, the first one or the last one when he got tased, and he said that, and even Tina said it, that Ernie's going through something and has something. He has something wrong with him. That it's not their
Mhm.
story to put out. That Ernie has to tell it what's going on. So I don't. And
Right.
Jimbo
And Jimbo said the same thing.
he alluded to drugs. He really did.
He did. He said, I've never seen
Seen
him
him
do it,
right now.
but come on. I mean, we're all
Now,
old enough to have seen someone on some kind of substance at least once in our life.
right. Well, I want to blow your mind for a
I
second.
mean, all the
The night,
characteristics are there.
the
Whether,
the night
mhm,
before, um, the night before he went into the hospital the first time, in Georgia. Please sit down. Um, the night before, he said his eyes were swollen. That he had makeup on or whatever. He didn't have makeup on, but his face was swollen. Okay,
mhm.
and he was still in Tennessee at the time. So I'm gonna throw out a conspiracy theory here, and there's gonna be girls in the chat that are gonna understand exactly where I'm going with this. And I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but if you set your mind to where my brain is going, Petey Wee-Shaw's and my brain is like burning right now. Genevieve, they will attest to this and the research that we found. But everybody on his second day of highway walking after he had left the hospital, um, he had what we thought were hickeys on his neck, right?
Right.
Okay. If you look closely, those are
I think I know
fingerprints.
where you're going with that.
They're fingerprints. He got
Yes,
into a
from,
fight with somebody.
or I don't even know if I can
I know.
really
I don't
go
want to go there, but I think you know exactly the same thing that I'm thinking because somebody was found.
there. Yes.
Yes.
I think we're on the same page.
Yes. And from our
Happens all the
research,
time. Happens
yes.
more often than any of us know.
Yes. So
Wow.
I'm hoping that the LE and the GBI are actually taking this seriously, um, because Tragic Mouse, it wasn't his boyfriend. It was a woman, but it gets extremely dark.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's type stuff. It's not just predominantly, one way or the other. All people
Right,
from all walks of life participate in that. It's a thing, and
right.
more power to them.
And the when he was in the ambulance, the the EMT asked, "Are these track marks or something like that?" It was very fuzzy on what was said, and he
Hmm.
goes, "Oh well, I had to take medication or something like that." You don't inject that in your neck. So I mean,
Yeah. There's, and that's,
and this isn't the
and
first.
even Alicia,
Yes. Oh my god.
she agreed with Jimbo that they know what he was doing in Georgia, and but it's not their story to tell.
Yep.
Jimbo has said there's things he needs to come clean about.
He needs to tell the law
He doesn't
enforcement
have to tell
exactly.
us every intimate detail of his life. I would be happy.
If he would be private
Yes,
and
I
go
would
and
be
tell the law
happy if he
enforcement.
came back. Yes. Go tell the people that need to know. I don't need to know. It's not going to make me sleep any better at night. But I do think that he owes the people of this community a few apologies. I think he needs to at least make a blanket statement. Look, yes, there were things that's going on in my life that I would rather keep
Right.
personal. There's things I'm working on, but you guys are safe here. I'm not going to dox your entire family all the way back to your great great grandparents. I'm not going to send people to stalk to you because these are all the ideas and fears that he has built up in people. And even though people don't come right out and say, "Oh, I'm afraid this is going to happen," because who wants to show a sign of weakness? But he's done some dirty stuff. You can't just be out here doxing all kinds of people because they don't agree with you
Right.
or because they question the legitimacy of your claims. I mean, that's just not cool. And that it has become such an issue across the board
Oh,
with
absolutely.
numerous creators. That seems to be the thing now. It's like I disagree with people all the time, but is it really worth me doing a whole big production of my disagreements? No, it's not. It
No,
might
it's
bring
not.
the views and it might bring the money, but then it just becomes a constant back and forth. And I'm going to say it. Many people have said it. The true crime community has gone to shit. And that's why I'm going
It's
to be
turned
moving all
into
my
a.
cases that I actually report on to my channel.
It's
It's a
trauma.
shame. It's
It really
nothing.
is.
It is. And we need to get back to where we once were. I don't know how that's going to be possible. I don't have the answers for that. I think that, not everything has to be a spectacle, and everything with Ernie is a spectacle. I think that I heard more honesty out of Tina and Jimbo over, that first couple of days after all this happened. Not an overwhelming amount of honesty, but they dropped some hints and they let people know that, look, things aren't what they seem.
Mhm.
So for his followers, they heard all that too. So that's why I have a hard time wrapping my mind around, okay, you guys were just flat out told that he's been lying about all this stuff. So why not
The receipts
lovingly
are out
hold
there.
him accountable?
Right, and the
Right.
receipts are out there. I've got them all over my channel. And I told him the last time I spoke to him, I said, if you continue to freaking lie, I am going to freaking continue to expose you. And he goes and I went to, took my daughter to dinner and a movie, like we do like once a month or whatever. It's been quality time. It's just my kid. And so he writes a message and he says, "Stop talking about me." Like, I mean, it was a really polite thing. He goes, "I'm only going to ask you nicely once, and then it's going to go to the courts." And I'm like, "I think you actually responded, and you said that I can say whatever I want." I believe it was you, because I
I
was
probably
like,
did because I've said that more than once. I've told him in comments, I'm like, I have a right to say whatever I want. And the more you keep going back and forth with people, I've told him and Betty, you're tanking your own case. You're literally tanking
right,
your own lawsuit that you think you're going to
exactly,
file by doing this back and forth with people and all this blame game. Like, Betty just said the other day that I was listening to her stream and she was talking about BDAC. BDAC's a great guy. I
where
didn't
is
get along
he?
with him at first when he was over there on that side, but he has a right to take a step back and say, look, I don't want to be involved in something like this. But right away, Betty's like, oh, well, you're a criminal. You're, bringing
She's a
his business
criminal.
and livelihood into it. And then turns around and says that we just accuse them of all kinds of stuff. All of us have been accused of horrible things. I'm just an average housewife who sits at home and takes care of my kids and goes to school. And he,
Right.
tried to belittle my education and tell me I don't know anything. Well, no, I do, because I pay attention. I have stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of books and binders and everything that tells me everything I need to know to take on people like Ern, to take on people
Right.
like Betty. So we can do that, or we can just be decent people and admit when you're wrong and cut the shit. Quit playing
Correct.
games with people. The stuff, like the thing with the mailbox and the Alabama versus the Florida and the LLC, that gives me cause for pause. Do none of his people question why Alicia sat up there on panel and said she's met the man one time? She's only written or only published that article
It was 3 articles,
him, and that's it.
and I
Name's on an
and
LLC.
I and I looked. Yeah, Johanna and Genevieve, they actually have the receipts to that. But also, sorry guys, I'm really tired. But he also, God, brain farting.
You're fine. I'm going to
Sorry,
answer Sweet Melissa real quick while you.
you're fine. You're fine.
Um, so my thoughts and opinions about Lisa. I commented on one of Lisa's videos the other day. It was when it was, I don't even remember which stream it was, but I told her, I said, you've always been respectful towards me. I'm not going to be disrespectful towards you. But I just want to clarify something. And it was about how all his chat was saying that Benny brought Ernie into Summer's case. And I told her, no,
Can I say something
that's
real
not what
quick?
happened. Ernie
Do you
brought
have?
Ernie into Summer's case on Facebook.
Yes.
Benny did kind of like an introduction stream where he like introduced Ernie to YouTube and all that, kind of like an interview. The very next day is when everything blew up in Ernie's face and people started questioning what this guy was about. Like it was in that moment that people started calling him out on his whole tactical this and I'm doing this. It wasn't adding up. So I let Lisa know because they're out there putting false information out. And, it's always the same group of people that get blamed for everything. I'm sure Betty's channel getting taken down is going to be Benny's, Raps, Nicolina's, and
Oh no,
Tamari's fault.
it was
I
Nicolina. It was Nicolina. She got the email. It was
Oh,
hilarious.
okay.
She's in the Northern Peninsula right now. She's on vacation, so I was like, well, I'm gonna make a video. Could you do this for me? She's like, I don't have any really good service right now. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the best I can with the video. So I put that video out. It's it's a hit. It seems like it's freaking YouTube's throwing
Yeah.
ads on it. So I had to go and pin a comment and be like, look, I am not monetized. So if you see ads on this, it's because it's in the algorithm and it's being pushed by
Oh.
YouTube.
But
So
my opinion, Sweet Melissa, about Lisa is I think that she's gotten caught up in something that really doesn't need to be caught up in. If we just base it on the simple fact that it's caused turmoil within her family, that alone should be enough to back away. Now, there was a time, remember, not too long ago, where
she
Lisa
left.
felt slighted and Lisa spilled the beans about a few things. And she told us flat out that he had lied about stuff.
Oh, and I believe her.
So I think that Lisa's probably an okay person. I think that her behaviors and some things that she has done for the whole tit for tat thing, very unbecoming. Um,
She just wanted her
I
channel
would
to get
never,
monetized and make money, is what she's doing.
right. And the way that they all reacted to Ernie being tased that day. Now, don't get me wrong. It's unfortunate that it came to that. That's
Right.
never fun. It's never fun to
I
be tased. It
I
hurts.
I laughed, but I
But
laughed
I think one of the
when,
comments I saw was,
yeah, we have a lag for sure. I laughed when the cop teabagged the the phone. That was the funniest thing. And then Tino popping up, and of course I have extreme PTSD. So when she popped up out of freaking nowhere, I literally screamed because not only is she a scary looking woman, um,
it was like a
just
jump scare.
it was a jump scare. It literally it scared the hell out of me. But I laughed at that because it's like when my kid is outside, like I said, the bathroom, and I come out after washing my hands or something, and she's like right there, and I'm like, I didn't know she was there.
Yeah,
She's like my little quiet ninja is what I call her. And yeah,
because I
so
thought she had been kicked off the stream like 10 minutes before that happened. She was up there for a minute and
she could have stopped it at any
then she
time.
was gone. And I thought, oh, well, she removed herself or he kicked her. It happened. Right. And that is, she sat right there and let the whole thing play out, knowing what people were going to say. Why humiliate him like that?
Exactly.
She could have cut that stream 10 minutes into it
I
instead of
agree.
letting the whole thing play out. You know, he could have just let the chat run. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've never gone live from my phone, only driving one time. I think I did, only because I had to complain about something. But, like, I don't know if the chat could have still been rolling so he would have still thought that people were there with him. I get him being afraid and him wanting to go live in these situations because he doesn't feel alone. If y'all love him, quit letting this man take off to God knows where
And don't trigger him.
by
Don't say
himself.
nobody is Shelby. Shelby is nobody. I mean, for some reason that freaks him out. And it's all Jimbo's fault.
Oh,
Jimbo read those letters. Jimbo made him watch some of his trial. That triggered him. Now, I have my own theories on to why it triggered him. I honestly feel he was there because
right.
you don't get PTSD like that, CPTSD, unless you witness something. Say my brother, I'm going to tell you right now, he was electrocuted at work. He worked for a company, like a cable company or whatever, and he got electrocuted because the wires were crossed or something like that. He died, and they literally had to epi-shock him in the heart. Well, I don't talk to my brother anymore, but that's another story. But I don't, I'm not traumatized because he experienced that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes, Genevieve's got it all. She really does. She has it all.
And
So
I've
does
got some stuff,
Joanna.
that I've done, but like I said, I kind of sit back to myself, and I'll crack the jokes and I'll post the funny clips and all of that, but
Same.
I'm a very analytical thinker, like it
Same
takes
here.
me a while to that's just my investigative brain, like you guys don't even know. I've had some careers, I before I decided to go back to school for criminal justice, I was in school and one semester away from being a massage therapist. So I've done it all. I've done lighting sales. I helped run my dad's business. But my brain just like I'm just nosy. I'm just
Well,
nosy. That's what it boils down to.
he didn't bring out the skip tracing stuff until I had already done it. He brought that out the following day after I helped somebody find somebody that doxed somebody. Jimbo doxed somebody. And I helped that person figure out who it was, where they lived, and all that kind of stuff. Because I've been skip tracing since the freaking 90s. Like when I was a little kid, somebody would message me and I'm like, okay, is this
Right.
guy like a pervert or what? So I would go and do my own little research. It's common sense. It's not hard to do. A lot of people just don't want to put the work in to go into Google and actually read.
Yeah.
They
And
want to get
that
all their information from their chat, and you can't do that. You actually have to put in the work, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, and I, like I said,
and
I'm not monetized.
if if this last episode prevented him from continuing on with that skip tracing thing, it was a blessing in disguise because he was teaching
Yeah,
every lunatic on the planet how to
yeah,
track someone down based on vengeance. It wasn't
extremely dangerous.
to
It
exactly.
was malicious. It was malicious.
And when you have an audience, exactly. And I don't know if these people have read, the fine print on all these people search sites and everything, but you can get in big trouble for using those sites and using that information for malicious intent. He keeps saying
Hmm.
it's intent, it shows intent.
But
Well, just about everything
when you
he did.
look up people, there's a screen that will pop up on any site engine. Okay, whether you have to pay for it or it's for free, it will tell you, are you, do you promise that you're not going to use this for malicious intent? And it's like, I won't do that, but I mean, I'll look into people. Now, when it comes to,
Mhm.
shit, I lost what I was going to say again. I need to wake up. I'm drinking a Bang that I've been nursing for the last 2 days. But yeah, it's extremely dangerous what he's doing. And oh, I was going to tell you this. Now, if you see him in the chat, I'm going to tell you right now. Anybody that sees him in the chat, if you are a mod in any chat room, and you see Alan Krebs, block him, hide him. He is a pedophile. That is not his name. He has emailed me multiple times telling me, and it tells who his name is when he emailed me. And I looked into him because I was like, okay, well, I saw Alan Krebs' information on Dank's page. I think he took it down. And I looked into him, and he's a dangerous old man pedophile. And he goes into everybody's chat, and he comes up with these, well, are you going to talk about something that happened in 1962 or some shit like that? And I'm like, dude, I was born in the 80s. I don't give a fuck about any of that stuff. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about now. And then he'll say something else that's like off the wall, and I go, do we really want to get into this, Alan? Do we? Because you're a known pedophile, and I can bring it out. I'm not a doxer. I'm not. But he does not belong in this genre, whether it's drama, true crime. He is extremely dangerous, and he goes into Ernie's chat, and Ernie's teaching this man how to skip trace, and it's extremely dangerous to people who have children.
Now, there was a person I saw in someone's chat the other day, and I want to say it said Alice Krebs.
Yeah, it's
And
Alan.
okay, because they said
Yeah.
they were telling Betty that Dank has
Yes.
now moved on to stalking them.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
So,
him.
mods, if you ever see that name in here, just get rid of them. No questions asked. They just don't need to be here.
Yeah, he's blocked on my channel. He was all like, he was throwing a fit. He was all like, my comments keep getting deleted, and I go, no, they're not getting deleted. I'm not posting them because there's certain words that I have on my channel that are blocked, and I have to approve them. Not every comment's going to show. There's some that was doxing Benny, and it was from that woman just saying. And I took a picture of it and I sent it. I sent it to him through a text. I said, "Look, if you see this woman, she's doxing you." It's just dangerous, especially since he's gotten 42 freaking CPS paperwork. You know, where what happens if there is something going on and they're just sending paperwork because they one time somebody came in and everything was fine. You know, I know Benny's he seems like a great dad. I am not going there at all with him. I'm just saying as an example. It's extremely dangerous. You don't want to mess around with this. Now, I get made fun of like when Ernie will throw up a picture, like I have, where he's in his mask. That's actually towards me. He's doing that to piss me off because he says that's not him. He doesn't think I'm a real person because I'm wearing a mask. Well, I'm wearing a mask because people like Betty and people like him are dangerous.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't want my soon to be 14-year-old child to be traumatized because people are coming in and out of our house every other week. You know, it's just stupid, and what happens going there and all with them. I'm just saying as an example. It's extremely dangerous.
It's very
You don't want to
dangerous.
mess around with this. Now, I get made fun of like when Ernie will throw there's an echo now, like I have, where he's in his mask. That's actually towards me. He's doing that to piss me off because he says that's not him.
And these people, I don't know what they feel like they have to prove. I mean, we all agree that he has things that need to be worked out. We all agree
Absolutely.
on that. A lot of us have had experiences with either ourselves or with people in our lives or friends. You know, we
1,000%.
might be able to help, but when it's a constant battle and I mean, enough's enough. If y'all care about this guy, encourage him to get help, whatever form of help he may need.
Absolutely. I
And
told him
another,
I was willing to get him help. I have no problems getting people help. It's the
right,
people that basically slap me in the face or spit in my face saying that they don't need help when clearly they need help. And you have a chat, and I mean, yeah, he might have 5,000 subs or 6,000 subs, but he's only got 30 people in his chat. It might say 300 or 200 or whatever, but there's only like 30 talking because everybody's freaking blocked. They're just
yeah,
watching.
they're blocked or they're afraid to say anything because, I've heard of more hacking, more this and more that going on lately. Like, and I'm not saying that nobody ever gets hacked, but every
No,
time
I'm gonna
someone
tell you
logs
exactly who is
on,
doing. I'm gonna tell you right now who's doing the hacking. It's Xander. Xander can come at me on this, but Xander is the one he is a computer guy. Okay, there's a lot deeper going into this that I'm not going to put out there, and the one
right,
person's not in the chat that I can see, and I don't want her information getting out there, but it's pretty bad. Xander is the one doing the hacking into other people's computers and into their phones. Now, when it comes to, okay, think about this logically. Why does Ernie need 5, 6, 7, 8 phones if you're
exactly.
not if you're not doing something shady?
And burner phones at that. Let's keep
Yes.
in mind these are not contract phones. He does not pay a phone bill every month. He
Look at
probably
what was on
runs,
Tiffany's phone. Now
yeah,
I deleted it's on my channel, but you can't see it. The one video with that's talking about Tiffany, it's on there, and you can't really see it, so it's not really
I have
anything
the
bad. Yeah.
screenshots of it.
Well, I deleted it completely. I hard deleted it from all my devices because of the fact that if that is like I'm telling you right now, there is a major investigation going on with Tiffany and Alicia Turner. If you're in here, you're in it too. Xander, Tina. Jimbo, MJ, and Ernie. It's allegedly, possibly, absolutely a fucking ring. It's a ring.
Right. And
And it's a
it's
ring.
funny
It's a ring
because
of very extremely dark stuff. They're going to think about this, a very small town that does have some rich people in it, but the town is extremely poor. And the state of Tennessee says that if that county does not develop enough, yeah, Johanna's got that. But if the county does not earn enough money, the state of Tennessee is going to take over Hawkins County. And when it comes to that, it's. I mean, I'm telling you right now. I mean, even freaking Andrew Hiltz, he's being looked at as well because there's. I'm gonna say allegedly there's a sex and drug trafficking rate.
oh, I know for a fact because the cases that I work on, I started out with Aaron Key's case, which is in Overton County, Tennessee.
Okay.
From there, I moved along to the Joshua Bohannon case. The case I'm working on now is out of Tennessee. I have a whole Facebook group that I can pull cases from. I will tell
Wow.
you that there is a huge meth problem in Tennessee. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
just your everyday nasty bathtub meth,
No, it's not.
it's wasp meth. They spray it with wasp spray, they do something to it, and it recrystallizes and it makes people go crazy. It makes people go crazy. Then you have Betty up there saying, "Oh, it's been proven." She's like, "I'm not going to show his records or anything that could hurt him, but yes, those gummies tested positive for stimulants." Like pick a lane. Are you going to out the
Right?
guy or are you not? And
Yep.
these people, Betty, out of her own mouth, said the people who accuse others of doing things are usually the ones doing it themselves. So, Betty, I challenge you to pick a panel, any panel, and explain that because you just gave your whole little group there away.
And
Because
it's all
all of,
recorded.
mm-hmm,
Somebody has it.
yep,
Either I
it
have
is.
it or
I
Nicolina
have
has
it.
it. Now I didn't deep dive into Betty because Nicolina was doing it. I have
I
been
just
on
started
Ernie's
on her.
ass. I've been on Ernie's ass because of the fact that I caught him in so many lies. And I told him that. I said, look, stop the lying. If you stop the lying, I will stop exposing you because I can prove it. Now, he's gone after rap and BK and all that kind of stuff for, striking channels, their channels and stuff. He's never once done it to me. And you know why? I know exactly why. Because I have facts to back it up that he cannot disprove. He
Right.
can't. In a court of
He's
law, he
never
cannot do
struck
it.
me either. For any of the clips I've done, and I don't have a copyright disclaimer. I'm not that fancy yet, you guys. Like, I don't
Right.
devote a lot of time to my own channel. That's why I'm not even at 3,000 subs yet, and I've sat at the same amount for a year. It's not my entire world. What is my entire
I
world?
haven't even been I haven't even been doing this a year. I think August is when I started because
Yeah.
I started with God Rami. He was a so-called predator hunter of OB Nation or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he would make like predators like he would do sting operations, and he would make predators like kiss the floor, and he would embarrass them. And well, one time he showed up on a private property, and the hotel wanted him to leave, and he wouldn't leave, so the cops were called. Well, he thought he was all good and dandy, and the cops were going to let him go. And he kept talking shit. Now, there is a less than 4-minute clip. It's my very first video. It's a 4-minute clip, and it's of Rami. in New Jersey, and he's got his phone, and he's like talking shit to the cops. And the cops are like basically telling him, "You better freaking leave. You better freaking leave." And he turns around and he starts talking smack at him. "See, I told you you can't do anything. Blah blah blah." Well, the next thing I know is you hear chunk 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 chunk, and he's being thrown to the ground. Cop picks up his phone. He's being arrested. It is the funniest shit on the planet. I died laughing. I thought it was a funny because he had just been hit by a car 2 months before, so his legs were still broken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he is a complete joke. Now the one guy I do like is Jay, and he's PP Mass. It's PP and then Mass because he's in Massachusetts,
Uh-huh.
and he works with law enforcement. Now there's another one, Ghost. We call him Ghost. He wears a mask. He's in California. He helped do the sting on EDP 445. Eat that pussy 445. Yeah. He got his channel taken off completely. EDP 445 did, because of the fact that he was meeting up with a 13-year-old girl, and they caught that on. I mean, we saw the chat logs and everything. Well, they got their channel, or he got completely off YouTube, and I think he had like a quarter million subs or something. Now he's on TikTok. He's already had like 7 TikToks, and the one TikTok is the only one that's still working. But he's a predator. It's not the first time. So I've been in this to see who is legit and not for a very long time. But I
Right.
didn't start making anything until probably like August last year, I think. I'd have to look on my channel. And I basically came from the commentary groups like Tipster and gosh, I can't even think, Augie and Nick Diorio and Edwin's generation. I mean,
Yeah.
I came from that community into this community. Um, I'm basically doing what they're doing to like big name people like Trisha Paytas. Now I did a couple of videos on Trisha Paytas and her mother, and her mother's videos got like 26,000 views on it because her mom deleted it, and I posted it because it proved that Trisha was sexually molested by, sorry, trigger warning, by her stepfather.
Wow.
And I wanted it known that, look, the internet is forever. They've never struck me, you know.
Yeah.
But it was also deleted. If you delete something, or if you delete your channel, all your videos are gone, and when you come back, you got to start all over. So it's like
Yep.
one of those things. I did one on Eugenia Cooney because I also came from that community, because I do have an eating disorder, and I'm very open about it. I'm not Eugenia. Xylee gets real. Oh, I love Peach. Yes, I love Xylee. Xylee is the shit. Um, but yeah, when it comes to that community, that's what I want to be. But right now, with a child at home that's a minor still, I'm not gonna put
Mhm.
my face out here. Also, I'm very self-conscious because I do have body dysmorphia that I'm working on. Um,
Right.
I posted one video of me showing my dog like a year ago, and I've lost, like, everybody was like, Peach, she was like body yada yada or something like that. My daughter had to tell me what that meant. I didn't know. and and she goes, oh, she means that you got a good body or whatever. And because I mean, I wear like 300, 400, sometimes $800 suits, and they're not cheap. I mean, I wear expensive shit. Um, and I've been into dogs for purebred dogs for 30 years about. So um, it's been my life. And then, but I had shown that video of me showing a dog, so I'm like a real person. But I've lost 60 plus pounds since then. That wasn't a year because I didn't know I had fully relapsed since my anorexia. So, but I came through from that community, and it's like Roger Brown reacts. I like him. He's actually in Kentucky. He does a lot of Lowell's cow stuff, and he makes fun of them. Just to get the exposure out there that there's crazy people out here on YouTube. And he posted a picture of Eugenia, and he wanted to talk about her, and I said, please don't. You're just going to send people all the way to her channel to where she's going to get more hate, but she's going to get more hate watchers. And I don't want her. She thrives on it. She's going to be 28 years old. She's going to be dead soon. It's a very sad situation, but she likes that, and she feeds off that negative energy. And I don't. And I told him, I said, please don't. It's triggering to people like myself. I have one video of her on my channel, and it's copyright. Super Bam is her agent, and Super Bam is gonna just. And if you just have her face and voice, you're gonna get copyright claim on it.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it. I mean, I edited it to where but it is what it is. It's still on my channel. I don't care. I'm like I said, I'm not monetized. It doesn't bother me. I do this basically for sport, just to get things out there. But yeah, I don't know. When it
And I
comes to
feel
earning,
like with what we're doing here today, we're able to just, go
have a
back and forth
conversation.
and have a conversation. And if any of those
Exactly.
people would have commented in here, they would have been welcome to stay, but they don't know how to have a conversation.
No,
They're
they
always
don't.
on the defense. And a part of it is because they just really like Ernie. They see something in him. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with the message. The whole predator hunting and doing all that stuff, I will back that
Right.
110%.
But I think it's hurting him because he's lying so
Exactly.
much, and the fact that he actually cannot handle it mentally. He's not
Right.
stable.
And
So
these
he,
people that keep throwing around this, he's schizophrenic, he's schizophrenic. If anyone has ever looked up the characteristics of a true schizophrenic who is not medicated, right? Because we know he doesn't like to take medication.
right.
So,
Well,
a
Tina even said he won't even take Tylenol.
yeah, a true schizophrenic who is not medicated is not going to be doing the things that he does,
Exactly.
like they're not going to be going out there putting themselves in these dangerous situations. So until, and I'm not even going to say until I see concrete confirmation that he's schizophrenic, because that's not my business. It's up to him if
Right.
he wants to tell. But if you're not going to tell, don't make it a diagnosis of convenience, because yes, there's a few nurses in his chats that I've seen, or they say they're nurses. I get it.
Right.
They have some knowledge, but I have knowledge too. There's people in this chat that have knowledge about mental
Exactly.
illness and what it entails. We're not just completely oblivious.
Right. I mean, I see my psychiatrist in 4 days. just just because I was crying, and I said, look, my meds are going to need to be upped because I do not want to cry. I spent all last year crying. I'm not doing it anymore. If I cry, I want to die. And that is the worst feeling in the world, because I get into that dark place and it's so hard to get out. And I've had an eating disorder since I was like 8. And I mean, I was diagnosed as anorexic at 8, and then again at 14, and then again at 16, and then again at freaking 20, and then 21. And then of course, I had cervical cancer at 19 and 20. And I wasn't supposed to be able to have kids, and I was lucky I had 2 of them. But I mean, it's with Ernie, it's a double-edged sword. It really is.
He definitely, and for all of you people that are lurking and listening, I don't wish that man any harm at all. And it
I don't
doesn't,
either.
I will argue with you guys till I'm blue in the face. He deserved to be tased that day. He was
He did.
tased
He
because you
ran.
had this guy who had been pacing back and forth in front of a fireworks stand waving his arms in the air with
For
cell
4 hours.
phones dripping off of him. He's talking crazy. He would not comply. They could have shot him, years and years
He's
ago. They would have
lucky.
gone for a leg shot to subdue him.
Yep.
Now they have the ability to tase people. And as hard as it was to watch for some, and as unfortunate of a situation as it was, it needed to be done. And more often than not, the first tase isn't going to subdue someone, especially when they're all hopped up on adrenaline or
Exactly.
substances of any kind. It may take 2 or 3 shocks to get them to where they can safely be secured and taken out of harm's way. They can spin it however they want. He was in harm's way. He was probably suffering heat stroke. He was probably malnourished for a couple of days. He hadn't had any water. There are
Well,
cars
Tina,
driving.
Tina even said that he doesn't like water. That's the reason why he was spitting it out.
See, but they want to spin it like, oh, well, someone, I guess they said Teen Rose was saying it was
Oh,
poison.
she's a nut job. Oh my God. This morning
She
she was
is.
going off and I'm like, how can anybody, she's like, oh yeah, I've been in love with him since I first met him. And I'm like, well, woman, you're like 60. Like, and she's like, well, maybe I'm crazy. I am crazy. I mean, she's crazy. She needs to be on medication.
Yeah. And it's the people that he had, and it's not just like his immediate circle. It's not just Tina, Xander, Jimbo,
No,
Alicia. Part of the problem is these people. You guys listen up, all his little subs. Quit taking screenshots and sending them to this man and telling him things like, so and so's working together and they're plotting this, and oh my gosh, they said that they're hacking him. 9 times out of 10, anything that any of us say in a chat, if it's along those lines of like, yeah, we just hacked them, we're joking.
joking.
It's a joke because we know that we can be in our chat on one device and we've all got our second devices watching how it's going down with all of you running over there and telling him that we're making all these plots and plans. To my
They're
knowledge,
they're constantly going into, say, your chat and then running to his chat
yes,
and telling him something completely opposite of what's going on. And he's believing it. He's eating it
yes,
up because he's
he's a people
surrounded by,
pleaser.
but he's
Ernie
also
is a people
surrounded by
pleaser.
people. Yeah, but he's also surrounded by people that are mentally ill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he's a magnet for them or something. And he believes them over people that are actually logical.
Yeah. And I
Which you're right.
one thing that Tina said, that kind of stuck out to me was
Hi,
the
Justice for
people that
All.
he was with at when they were at Twin Peaks that night, for his big celebrity weekend.
Right. Those people were pretty shady. I looked into them.
So yeah, I want to
And
dig
even
into it.
Jimbo said that they are very shady as well as Tina. And you know what? I mean, Tina's a freaking nut job herself. But she's got some logical times where she's thinking critically. And I go, okay, I'm on her side. I believe her. And then
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden she's all like feeding into the whole freaking Ernie's got a brain chip crap. And I'm like, come on. Can
Oh
we?
yeah, I totally agree. She's nuttier than squirrel shit. But I mean, there are like moments of clarity where I agree with things that she's saying. And that's why I said, I think I heard more honesty out of her over the past few days. I wish
Right.
she would come live a little more and explain some more things. I mean, the jig is up, right? Like it's time.
Yes,
It's
it's
time
time.
to stop doing
Well,
what you've
she
been doing.
2 3 weeks ago she actually did. Her and Xander sat down, and that's when Xander called him a con. I got that
Uh-huh.
whole thing recorded,
Yep,
and
it was
now he's
ketamine on the couch.
yes, and he turned around and he said, he's a con, and she goes, well, Ernie's not really a con, and he goes, well, then how would you label it?
Right.
and she couldn't really answer it. So it's like, come on, I mean, he even knows he's given up on him. He
And
wants him to get help. Now, I
I
think the
feel
most
like,
logical one in that whole circle is Xander.
yeah,
But
and
I
I think
think
he got
Xander is
stuck by default. He got stuck with Ernie by default. And,
right.
but I think, I agree. I think he's kind of gotten to the point where he washes his hands of him. It's like, what else can you do? If he's not going to act right, if he's not going to make the right decisions for himself, then
Right.
unless they can get someone, I would honestly say like a state appointed guardian would be the best bet, because there's obviously not anyone in his family. I mean, look at all the stuff going
Well,
on with his sister.
his sister's crazy. His brother is in jail and he's crazy
Yeah.
legally. And I mean, his mother has dementia. She's not crazy. She has dementia. I believe his father had schizophrenia, from what I looked into. Um,
And
but
that can be a genetic disorder. And if
it
that's the
can.
case, then I totally understand. But here's the thing.
If you're gonna
He
mix it with
only
drugs,
Mhm. Yeah, if he's only acting that way like periodically after certain things happen, then I can't really get on board with the, oh well, he just inherited the schizophrenia gene. I can't. I'm not
I
there
can't.
yet. I want to be there if that, explains all of this crap. But it's like Tina and Jimbo said, there's things he needs to come clean for. And so I'm telling you, Ernie, if you ever hear this stream, you need to come clean about those things with somebody. It doesn't have to be us.
And it
I
does.
do.
It doesn't have to be publicly. Just
Right.
he needs to get help. He needs to talk to somebody. I mean, a month ago he said, "Look, I have CPTSD. I need to see a doctor about it." And then all of a sudden he was back to his freaking loony bit. And it's like,
Exactly.
you've got you've got to put in the work to do it, and they want him on medication, and he's not going to do it. Now, the reason why I was late to your stream is because I was looking up who was recently arrested. So I mean, it was a very long list in that county. So I was looking up. He's still in the hospital.
Yes, D Froggies. Alicia Turner is listed on the LLC,
She
which
is.
is a red flag to me.
It's also attached to the PO box in Alabama,
So what
and
he
her address in Florida. I looked it up. Her address in Florida is actually an intersection. It is the weirdest thing on the planet. Her address is an intersection.
So that
In
just goes to show, if things are on the up and up, you don't have to use fake addresses. So,
right,
what are the penalties for like lying on an LLC application? I mean, surely there's
it's
got to be
federal.
some.
It's federal.
So these people are now when they were at Twin Peaks that night. I was watching,
Now,
and
was that in Ohio? Because there's one in Atlanta, and I believe they were in Atlanta.
I was it Atlanta or was it Knoxville?
I believe it was Atlanta
Because I
because
know he said he was going to Atlanta.
right, but the guy that he was with, real whatever, the bling out dude, um, he's he posted on Instagram that same day in Atlanta, and a picture of him in Atlanta on his stories. And I got screenshots of all his thing because I was looking into him. He's a pretty shady dude. He's supposed to
I
be
had never heard of those guys, and they're supposed to be these big famous people. And he
they're
didn't fit
not.
in with those people. Like, it was the most thrown together group of people around that table.
And he looked so awkward. He did not belong there. Now the real guy, I don't want to say his real name, but the real guy, I'm going to quote that. He's from Atlanta. Whew. You okay?
Yeah.
Sounded like you fell. Um, but the real guy, the blinged out dude, took a video of Ernie, and I have it screen recorded. Took a video of Ernie dancing at Twin Peaks, and
Oh.
he looked like the oddest thing on the planet. Like, and it was a big mural of Atlanta. So that's the reason why I was like, it's Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Somebody sent me a screenshot of Twin Peaks in Ohio or Indiana or something like that, and I'm like, no, he's in Atlanta, because Atlanta is only like 4 hours from where he was
Oh.
in Tennessee. So yeah,
And are
I
these
mean,
people that are
believe me,
in
I did an extremely deep dive into this. When I get on a roller coaster, River Blue, I will probably post it. I'm not ready to post it yet because it's kind of, I don't want to embarrass the guy. He didn't even post it, so so it was kind of awkward to watch him do this little dance in front of this mural. It was weird. It was before he did the fake jumping over the balcony thing. Um,
Oh.
yeah, it was weird. It was okay. It was cringe. It could have been on
See,
cringe
and
top.
where are all these people? Where that new group of friends?
They well, see. Here's the thing. This guy, the real guy, is a he's not a celebrity. He's a promoter, and he has like over 400,000 subs on Instagram. But he bought them. He bought the
Oh.
subs. They're not even real, or the followers or whatever. So yeah, he looks bigger and badder than he really is.
Yeah, I don't understand the purpose. Like, what does he need a publicist for? First of all, bounty hunters don't need publicists. Skip tracers don't need publicists.
Um,
Predator hunters don't need publicists
can
because
you
they like to stay behind the scenes. They don't want you to know who they are.
right? Can you highlight just
Um,
Justice for All? Why does he want to
why
always
does
walk into traffic too?
I don't
Um, he when he's in one of these drug psychosis, he doesn't know where he is, and you can see it in his eyes. They're very glossed over and glazed. And I've I've never been a drug addict, but I've watched a lot of what is that TV show? I binge watched it recently on Hulu or something. What is it called? Somebody help me in chat. My
um
brain is. I have a TBI. I have a mild TBI.
my son
My it's the most weird.
does too, so I his short-term memory is affected. There was this show called Intervention that was
Intervention.
on.
Yes,
um
that's it. I watch a lot of Intervention, and you can
yeah.
tell when somebody's on meth, whether they snort it, because he doesn't. I mean, his teeth aren't the greatest, but I believe he's either. I believe he's snorting it. To be honest. Yes, thank you guys for Intervention. Yeah, it's Intervention.
Well, we're
Liz,
trying
Liz. I was actually Liz Kaspari.
we're
I was
trying to peel off the mask on the publicist.
Alexander is not the hacker. It's Xander.
So yeah, I
Oh,
mean
you're
that.
20 minutes behind. Okay, Liz is way behind. She's 28 minutes behind, and she's the one that I was telling you that I wasn't going to get into her story or anything like
Mhm.
that. Um, but yeah, when it comes to the hacking situation, she has personal experience with it. So I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff with a lot of these people in chat.
Yeah, I mean,
That makes a lot of
there's
sense.
definitely a lot of situations like all within this whole web that it's going to take time, right, for us to unfold everything. And because, like, I know for a fact I'm not going to put anything out unless I've quadruple checked it because
Right.
we're all still real people and our lives can be affected by everything we put out here. And I would never want to put
Absolutely.
something out about someone that wasn't true. That's why all my videos are clips of their own words. And if you can dispute their own words, then let's do it. Come
Right.
on, let's debate it. Because
Exactly.
it's not me saying it, it's them saying it.
Well, I mean,
And
have you seen all of my videos? Like, I
yeah,
back
I binge
everything
watched
up.
you one day.
I I am like obsessed.
I
Really,
did
I
binge watch
am.
you one day.
Oh, thank you. I mean, like I told Jody Sue last night, I can easily monetize. I don't have to. I'm actually waiting for disability, and they can. It's the government. You know, it says they can take up to like 200 days or some crap like that. It's been like a month. Um,
I'm gonna
but I
need
mean,
Jody Sue to expand on this papers for the lawsuit
I clipped what she said. She said that she
or
looked
the
into him.
fundraiser. You know, I want to know what papers he filed. Why is he dipping
Yeah,
his hands in that? Yeah, like I want to
yeah.
know more about that
He,
because that
the way, did
fundraiser
you hear
thing
her?
that affected me too.
Did you hear her? She said that when he filed papers, she looked into him because of the fact that, oh, I'd have to play it.
He was on the
My brain is not
list when
working.
people started naming suspects. His name was
Yeah,
brought up, and
correct.
then she looked into him a little bit more and found out that he had filed paperwork, something to do with the fundraiser. That fundraiser affected me. It affected a lot of people in this chat. It affected everyone in the true crime community in one
Right,
way or another. It destroyed relationships. People turned on each other. There was a huge onslaught of name changes, and it's just and everything has just kind of been a ripple effect after that. And that's why
right.
everyone is so touchy.
Charlotte Ann, no, I haven't
Like
yet.
if nobody donates for me to send it to Ocean Lover, I get it. I completely get it.
Liz Gaspari, she said on Shell's ass like white on rice.
Yeah. But we have a
I
right
told him. I told him 100 times. I told him publicly on his channel and that I put on my channel because he, of course, dirty deletes everything. And I told him on Rap's channel, look, I'm not going to get off your ass. If you stop lying, I won't have to discredit you. I won't have to prove what you've said. Now, if you can't remember that you said that, then you've got a problem. Because here's what you said.
right.
Um, he's I looked at my thing today. He subbed to me. Truth be told, is subbed to me. Now they made a video calling me out because of the whole Leticia thing, where I had told her, and she liked it. She laughed at it. She thought it was funny because she likes to quote unquote cuddle. So I said, have you tried this white jacket? I have a white jacket and it holds you. It was a joke. She thought it was hilarious. And it it's just, they called me out for it, saying that I was bullying her. I wasn't bullying her. I actually have talked to Leticia. She's a nutcase. Now, I mean, she really is. And she gets disability for it and all that kind of stuff. But she needs to take meds. She doesn't need to just keep smoking weed when she's pregnant. But yeah, I just
Yeah.
my brain will go all over
I can't believe
because
that they let Letitia out of jail.
oh, it was the woke judge. She was female, and she's gonna get a slap on the wrist. It's disgusting. Original Owl, I screenshotted. She let us screenshot all of the 4-page document that Leticia had filled out, saying that it was consensual, and she's gonna end up with a slap on the wrist. It's disgusting. Just scroll. Is Xander that one gal's
That's
man?
unfortunate for
Tina.
that child that she obviously doesn't want.
No, she doesn't want it. And I told her, I said, look, if you will see a doctor, she even made a video about it. I said, if you will see a doctor and let me adopt the baby, you can stay in my home. I have a spare room, but you have to see not my psychiatrist, but you can see a psychiatrist I know a good one. I'm only like 7, 8 hours from her. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I have more. I'm willing to help people. It's just like it's like the Los Cal chick, Adrasia. You know, her name is Mary, and she goes, I'm not anorexic, but I'm anorexic. No, bitch, you're not anorexic. You got a Domino's app on your fucking phone as you're calling me out on your video, and then she deletes it. Okay. So I went and made a video about it. I said, nah. And I put in all this educational stuff about you cannot self-diagnose anorexia. You can't. You need a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I have a neuropsychologist,
Right.
because I have a TBI, but I also have ADHD. And then I have my psychologist for my antidepressants. I'm not bipolar or anything, but I I'm a manic depression person or something. I don't know how she described it.
Hmm.
And then I have anorexia with severe PTSD. I have agoraphobia. I mean, I I can't legally have a firearm because of my mental illness and my TBI, but I have. I don't know if you saw my Dogo Argentino. She's only 9 months old. I broke my foot last week because of her. So
Aw.
I'm a mess. It was one thing after another, I swear. But I was doing training with her in flip flops, like stupid thing to do. And she flat tired me, and I got out of my flip flop, and I accidentally, with
Yes,
my,
justice for all. They do claim.
they do what?
They do claim that
Oh, yes.
Ernie has a chip in his head.
Yes. He said that he had an x ray done in Arkansas, I believe it was, like Texarkana or something like that, in Arkansas. It's the craziest thing. He, he probably has like a shrapnel or something. That's probably what it is. He probably got some metal in his head because
Thank
he
you,
said when he
Mama
was a
She.
kid, he said that he was like, you give up on humanity, Justin. That's funny.
So I want to say thank you to Mama She. She sent a donation for Ocean Lover. So
Oh, that's
um
awesome.
I will make sure I get with Nicolina or whoever
That's awesome.
I need to send it to make
Yeah,
sure it's to her. And after I'll give it till the end of today, and then at the end of the
Nicolina
day
is
tomorrow
sending.
morning, first thing I will. I thought she
Nicolina
was
is
the
sending.
person that I needed to send it to.
Well, she is sending everything to Dutchy. Dutchy is the one that is actually putting everything
Okay.
into the GoFundMe.
Okay, so what I'll do is at the end of tonight, I will screenshot everything and I will send it over and post that that's been done. So there's no questions asked. I just, it's
That's awesome, Mama
to
She.
be able to do anything is just like amazing. And I love that we do, despite everything we've
We
been
do
through
have a
as a
very good
community,
community.
we do. I
We
mean,
really do. Very generous.
yes.
I mean,
And
I wish I could do more. It's just I'm not working, and I
oh, yeah.
can't. I have. I mean, I showed dogs for nearly 30 years, and I can't even do that anymore because I have uh, metal in my back. Like I had a spinal fusion done, and I'm still recovering from that. And I had that in October, and then I fell down my stairs sleepwalking in February, um, which my original service dog was murdered January 4th of 2021, and she used to help me not sleepwalk. Um, but yeah, it's sleepwalking is a part of PTSD, and so is
Right.
what do you call it? Uh, Sleep paralysis. Oh, it's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, my son.
UK, truth be told, I absolutely agree with that. That is
I
absolutely
do
spot on.
too. Like, I'm not a heartless person. His people come at me in comments like I just don't care, and that's simply not true.
Oh, they do that to me too. Yeah.
Do care. I probably care a little too much, but there is, with all this stuff that he's learned, he could use these experiences and that he's gone through in life that haunt him. He could turn those around and use them for good things. Quit worrying about being famous. You're in your 40s, dude. You're not going to be a movie star. You might
Right.
land a role as an extra, but unless you move to Hollywood and really hit the pavement and get yourself together, like,
Well, actually, it's Georgia is probably the really big hotspot now because
oh, really?
yeah, everybody from Hollywood is going to Georgia. The taxes are cheaper to make movies because California is freaking cesspool of trash.
Yeah. They
Um,
used to shoot a lot of movies where I'm at too, but
yeah,
he just needs to pick one thing and bring it to completion. And I think that one thing right now in this very moment needs to be his well-being,
he
his
needs
mental
to get help.
health. And it's not going to be something that happens on a 2-day stay or even a week stay. It could take months, years to get him where he needs to be.
Right.
They can get him on medication, but it's probably 10, 15 different combinations to get the right one. And you guys have got to stop making excuses for him. Just, if you want to love him, love him. If you want to be his friend, but be the kind of friend that says, no, we're not going to allow you to continue on with this charades. You need to be honest with us. You need to be honest with yourself and just give in to whatever it is that is plaguing you and putting obstacles that you can't make the right decisions. If there's anything I
Absolutely.
can do to help him, I'll do it. I'll find places,
I will
I'll
too.
research things, I'll but these games that everyone's playing and all these threats of lawsuits and stuff like that, if you're going to come at me like that, bring it on. I'll challenge you. You're not going to win. And I will go and testify for anyone they've ever threatened with a lawsuit because I
Oh yeah, I told Benny,
guarantee
I
you
told
I have the facts
Nicolina,
of how everything played out in
I'll
an
sign
ICC
affidavits.
trial.
Yep, I could be a character witness. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, we all have it recorded. It's not like, I mean, and all he's doing is anytime he's on social media, I don't know who said, crimes and consequences. Absolutely. He needs to stay off the social media. It's not helping his mental health.
I think that getting us heavily involved in YouTube
Do you remember,
and stuff. Well, I mean, it's been going on for years, but I think that YouTube was
what is it, Shia LaBeouf or whatever? He went crazy.
yeah.
Okay, this is what Ernie's doing. And it's because the fame, certain people, when you get into a character, and that's what he's doing, he's a character. When he is a quote unquote bounty hunter, he's a character. And he gets into that and he gets sucked into it in his
Mm-hmm.
brain and he becomes that, but he's not that
And they
at all.
no, and they've all said it. MJ, I still can see the pinned comment in his chat the other day before all this happened that said, when are people going to realize that half of everything is for entertainment and then part of it's the truth? It's all for entertainment. It's all for this movie. Now, that doesn't
Well, that's the reason why I did my series.
mean there is
This is all
legit
a
a movie
movie.
being made. Okay, let's face it. This is never going to make it.
Well, yeah, like I said,
Yeah, it's just,
I did that
this is the
series.
movie. What
I
plays out on YouTube is the movie.
exactly. And when he started saying that over and over again, I was like, well, screw this. He did his thing in Louisville, and then he went back to being the same idiot that was, that does not belong, lying. So I was like, screw this. If he is not going to get the help that he needs, I'm going to do my series. And that's what I did. I did a 3-part
Right.
series. I had a 6-part ready, but Betty's out of the picture now. So I'm waiting. I got my
Yeah.
Tiffany
I
video out.
wonder how long it's going to take her. I fully expect to see her on Lisa's panel tonight, just raging about this. Like,
Her teeth flying. Yeah.
oh, gosh. But, Betty, that's what happens. When you don't act right, that's what
Yeah.
happens. And, I want to talk to Lisa. I want to see what Lisa has to say about this big undercover operation. Because, that fight between Betty and Ernie was absolutely real.
It
I
was.
mean, and then she comes back and she just tries to take over and act like, oh, it was just we
Well, I
had to be
ta-
undercover, you guys.
I posted that clip and I tagged her in it, and she goes, "Don't be tagging me in your drama." I said, "Bitch, it's your words. What the hell are you talking about? That's your words.
I,
You said
I
you
think
and
it's funny
Nat."
when she gets up there. Ernie is these people. She got on a rant one day and she's like, these people just stream his content. He is a good content creator. It is not their content. It is not their creation.
Well, when
All
I
he does is get on a live stream and sit there and scroll through his phone
and do
and
20
talk
minutes of
about,
talking in 4 hours.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's time.
Crimes and consequences. Yes,
You guys
he
have to
was
help your friend.
actually
Get your friend
he
under control and do what's best for him.
when he had the track marks in New York. They did find a hypodermic needle. There's something very dark when it comes to it because they also found somebody dead that had been stabbed with a hypodermic needle in New York, and then he was put in a mental institution for a month, and then got out. And then that's when his sister was freaking out when Amber was freaking out about where he was. I'm telling you, Crimes Consequences, he turned 42 on New Year's Eve. I I know more than I should about this man and his life, um, just because of the fact that when I take contents or clips, I edit it to make it my own. It's mine. This is my content.
Right.
Because it is edited. It does have, like I did one on freaking Bullhorn Betty, okay, and it was funny. It was just a bunch of different clips of her like cackling and all this kind of stuff. It was hilarious. And then I did one on Molly because Molly has this fascination with eating on camera. So I did a compilation of her eating. Like I called it Mukbang Molly. It's hilarious. You probably saw it, but it's hilarious. There was
She does. Y'all never see me eat on a live
oh
stream.
when she ate peaches, she goes juicy, big juicy. She was talking to me because I said big juicy peaches, and she goes, yeah, big juicy, and I was like, I clipped it. It was funny. Um, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and she's eating a thing of peaches.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah, it's just as somebody who does have an eating disorder, I find watching people eat weird but fascinating at the same time because I could never do that. I hate to admit it, but I'm a big Nick Ocado fan. I will fall asleep like the first 15-20 minutes of a Nick Ocado avocado stream. It's usually him ranting and raving. I usually just fast forward to that because then it gets into like where he like talks, and I like listening to him talk.
I'll have to check that out. Like, I've eaten a whole steak before on a live stream, but no one ever knew. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start winding it down. The hubs came home, so.
Okay,
But thank you for joining me. And
no
you guys,
problem.
I'm going to keep checking into this fundraiser thing and find out why he was dipping his hands in that. And, I wish him the best. I wish all of them the best, but I think
I
it's time
really do
for
too.
some honesty.
I think they all need to come together, and I think that they need to be honest with their audience and actually become real people. If they are real, I think that have they would have more supporters, and they would have more. I just want to see more genuine out there. I see so much trash,
Right.
and the lies. And I'm a big. I hate. It's my biggest pet peeve. I cannot stand a liar. I can't. I grew up with a mother that is the most manipulative bitch on the planet, and I know it's horrible to say about your mother, but 3 years ago, I turned around and I said, "Sorry, you're gonna have to save yourself." I spent at that time, I think it was like 35, 36 years of my life saving her. She would call me and be like, drunk and taking my dad's like Percocets and stuff, and me having to call a different state to go and do a wellness check, freaking out because my dad is dying at the time, and he last year, I think it was last year, my brain, it could have been the year before, but he wished I was dead. um they're just not good people. So I mean, I got rid of the toxicity in my life, and I want to be a genuine person online. When I do my lives, I like talking to people. I don't like talking to myself by myself. I like having somebody on panel because I feel a little bit more comfortable talking. Because then otherwise I get caught up in chat, and then my ADHD, I get so far behind. But I know I hear your husband in the background, and
Yeah.
I have a kid that is like looking at me, and she's like, she wants pizza. It's Friday. We usually order pizza on Fridays.
Yeah, we
And
always
I,
eat out on Fridays, and they just brought me a snow cone. So,
oh wow, yeah, and Beavis and Butthead do the universe or whatever. I watched it last night with AP, Adonis Paul. I
uh-huh.
watched it with him and a bunch of other Twitch and YouTube creators. We watched that on Twitch last night, so like 4 o'clock this morning. And then we watched Beavis and Butthead Through America. It was just like a little marathon. It was hilarious. We have those type of nights usually on like Fridays though. Um, but AP just came back from Canada,
Yeah.
and it
All
was
right.
a
Well,
good
thank
time,
you,
and it's a
everyone,
good
for
movie.
being here.
Yeah, it was great talking to you, and I'm glad we could finally do this. And I would love to
Yeah,
have
we'll do it more
another.
often.
Yeah, I would love to have another in-depth. Whether we do it on your channel, my channel, it doesn't bother me. I appreciate everybody that for the support, and we really truly do. Our community wants Ernie to get help. Yes, we rag on him. Yes, we make fun of some of the stupid shit he says because he does it on purpose. Like that stupid book. Oh, look, how to disappear. Yeah. Do we know?
Yeah. And Tina said that much. She said that he does
He
stuff like that
does.
to mess with people.
Well,
So
and I'm
we
going to
just
tell you
want him to
right
be
now,
healthy
nobody,
and safe
I'm going to
and
tell you right
happy.
now, nobody called the police. He can say this all day long that he got called, the police were called um, at the Long John Silver's in Kentucky. No, I called, and I told him this it's on my channel. I called, and I told him this on his channel, but I put it on my channel because I recorded it. I called the restaurant and asked if the police were there, and they said no. So it was all
Yeah.
lies. No police officer is going to let you get out of your car and then get back into your car. It's not going to happen. They're going to tell you to stay in your car. The blue light was Xander. Xander showed up.
Right. And they're
Because they
especially
have
not
that
going to
on
let
the
you, they're not going to let you just hop back in your car when he had all those weapons. I mean, we all saw those.
right. And he was never going to give those
They're
away.
going
He
to,
still has
if they
them.
would have gotten a call saying that someone was in their car. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, I
So yeah,
appreciate
we
Mama
should
She
definitely
for
do this more
donating to
often.
Ocean Lover.
Yeah, Mama She, that was wonderful of you.
Yeah. And I'll leave it open for the rest of the night if anyone else wants to donate to help Ocean Lover with her kidney It's just $ Chasing Justice, and I will post receipts tomorrow for all the donations that I've sent to Nicolina to Skoda Dutchy to help Ocean Lover out.
Also,
So,
another disclaimer, if you can, get yourself tested and see if you can be an organ donor. I know I can't personally because I'm a TB carrier. So legally, I can't even donate blood. I had it.
yes, organ
I had it.
donation is.
So I mean, I always put that out there. Is if you can be a donor, get yourself tested to see if. I mean, if I could donate a portion of my liver or a kidney or something, I would. I really would, because I was an organ donor until my doctor told me it was illegal for me to be an organ donor.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, I didn't even know. I had just put it on my license and I had to take it off because I didn't want to get in trouble. So, but this was a great live. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, everyone have a great weekend. Remember to be kind to each other. Hug your loved ones extra tight. You never know what tomorrow is going to bring. And let's just see what happens. We're all going to keep digging and see what we can find out. So I
Yep.
will talk to all of you soon, and I love you all.
All right. Bye.
Bye.